The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn and starring, well, everyone really. Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena, Joel Kinnaman, among many, is the latest entry in the DC Cinematic Universe. A reboot/reimagining of a previous entry in 2016 that was generally considered to be a misfire in DC's unstable list of film releases. Although I enjoyed the 2016 film, it had many faults. Too much focus on Margot Robbie and Will Smith, a weak villain, poor CGI, and bad pacing issues. So when I heard DC were once again starting a franchise over, although bringing back a few cast members, I was not too thrilled. However, that all changed when it was announced that James Gunn, the director behind the successful Guardians of the Galaxy movies, was attached to direct, and he was given full creative control. I got my hopes up. And after a couple of trailers, my excitement went higher and higher, but this also led to some doubt forming. Was I trusting James Gunn too much to deliver here, banking heavily on his previous Marvel movies? Could he bring that same fun, chaotic energy to a new Suicide Squad movie? And the big question, with high reviews coming out left, right and centre, critics loving the film, is this film good? The short answer, yes. The plot for Suicide Squad is similar to the first. A gang of oddball and obscure villains from DC's roster are taken out of prison by Amanda Waller to form a special Black Ops style unit known as Task Force X. Their goal is to infiltrate an island run by a ruthless government and find and destroy a secret project known only as Project Starfish. So right from the start, I want to praise this film for how quickly we get into the story. Within 5 minutes we've been given a bunch of characters, explain what happens to them to disobey orders, and sent to a beach landing for an explosive and hilarious opening. Now, fans of the DC comics know that the characters in this universe are expendable and can die quite abruptly and often, and James Gunn doesn't shy away from this in this movie. There's deaths aplenty, and some surprising ones too. I want to thank him for providing that sense of tension and unease when characters are in danger. James Gunn's unique filmmaking style is present here, and it really shines. It gives the film a unique voice. There's slow motion, over-the-top action scenes, music playing during fights, and super colourful visuals. There's even text overlays during certain scenes exposing a chapter or a certain goal, written in fire or blood in some creative way. It's just the little touches that make the film so memorable. So what about the cast? In the previous entry we had about 7 or 8 members of the squad. This film doubles that at least. Without spoiling too much, to be fair, you can probably tell from the posters which ones are going to be the main characters of the film. In the first movie, only one member of the team was killed off due to disobeying orders. However, in this film, we get so many ridiculous and hilarious deaths that you'd be surprised to make it that far into the film at all. From the insane looking Weasel, to Javelin, whose weapon of choice you can guess, TDK, or the detachable kid whose limbs go off to attack enemies, the film's tone is set right from the opening, complete dark comedy. Margot Robbie is back in her third entry playing Harley Quinn. Each time she played the character, she's slightly changed her personality. In the first movie she was more of a nuisance, constantly harassing team members while her motives hidden and had more of a wild, uncontrollable feel, plus she's madly in love with the Joker. In Birds of Prey she was trying to make it on her own more independent and comical, yet I got the feeling they were trying too hard to make her similar to Deadpool, with fourth wall breaks and constant jokes. In this film though, I feel they balanced her just right. She's funny, quirky and crazy, but it never feels too much. It's fun to see her working with others and the banter interaction from other characters. She, like most of the cast, gets plenty of screen time and their own moments to shine. Idris Elba is great as Bloodsport. I originally thought he was just some replacement to Will Smith's Deadshot character, and even though I do love Will Smith, and even have a similar kind of backstory of a daughter character, I think I enjoy Bloodsport more than Deadshot in this movie. The standouts to me personally though were Ratcatcher 2, Polka Dot Man and King Shark. Sylvester Stallone as King Shark brings this insane Sharkman hybrid to life, and even though he is a killer, can rip a man apart in an instant, you can't help but find him adorable. Ratcatcher 2 and Polka Dot Man bring some heart and soul to the team with their innocent charm and bizarre superpowers. This film gets the tone just right. The characters all feel well cast and the balance between the humour and high stakes action is blended perfectly. Special effects in this movie were also really good. King Shark looked great and there's a good blend of practical and CGI in parts. The cinematography here was excellent, colourful in parts, and I'm sure you've all seen from the trailer the scene of Harley and the birds and the flowers. It's great to see James Gunn's style on display here in all its cartoon-like glory. One thing, however, I was disappointed by is the soundtrack. I think it may be my own fault for assuming we would get some kind of Guardians of the Galaxy style 70s, 80s music playing in the background throughout the film, but it's lacking that aspect. It doesn't take much from the film, but I feel it could have elevated a few scenes. The score is good, but a couple of songs here and there could have really helped. The film is also excellently paced. It never felt long, never dragged, I was constantly engaged the entire time. It does flip back and forth in scenes between sets of characters, but I think this works for the movie when we have quite a few characters to follow in the story at one time. To sum up, The Suicide Squad is a fantastic, unique entry in the DC universe, and quite possibly its best. A blend of dark comedy and visual spectacle with a perfectly cast gang of oddball characters. It has some surprisingly touching moments as well. This is what happens when producers let the directors, who know and love the source material, have free reign and deliver a product that fans crave, and it really shows here, and giving this one a perfect 10 out of 10.